A prominent English theologian and philosopher named Austin Farrar once made this important observation. Though argument does not create conviction, lack of it destroys belief. What seems to be proved may not be embraced, but what no one shows the ability to defend will quickly be abandoned. Rational argument does not create belief, but it maintains a climate in which belief may flourish. As important as secular evidences and reasoning may be in exploring the Scriptures, including the Book of Abraham, it is also crucial to keep in mind the limits of human understanding. New evidence, new data, and new scholarly findings may change our understanding of ancient cultures. Scholarly arguments, while certainly important in many respects, must be taken into consideration carefully, since the conclusions drawn may be highly tentative.
To me, the great key in dealing with issues in the Book of Abraham is to evaluate how we know things. As someone who is very actively engaged in an academic discipline, I'm actively an Egyptologist, I'm part of an excavation, I've served on national committees and national organizations, I publish actively. I know the field of Egyptology from an academic viewpoint, and I know that we are always figuring out that things that we used to know or used to think we know are wrong.
And it's hard to say what's likely because you never know what somebody's going to turn up, and you never know what's in the back rooms of museums. There are hundreds, or actually thousands of unpublished papyri in the back rooms of museums that in many cases aren't even known to Egyptologists. I went to one papyrus collection, and floor to ceiling, wall to wall boxes. And I was told that these are papyri that have never been looked at.
I can't use the history book I used to use because it's out of date. There are too many bad ideas in it and too many wrong facts. 5 years from now, the things that we're teaching in our history classes we'll see are wrong. Some of the research I'm involved in from my archaeological excavation is going to very clearly show that some things that everyone has taught for 100 years about pyramids is dead wrong. We are always finding out that the things we've taught in the past are wrong.
I have a number of colleagues whom I'm very grateful to who try to dig through this material and try to publish it. But one of them in publishing the material as recently as 10 years ago, after several major studies and hundreds of papyri, said this amounts to less than 1% of the known material.
I have never given a lecture on the Book of Abraham the same way twice because we've always learned something new by the time I give it again a month later. So it's hard to find something in print that is up to date. I've published a few articles. I'm working on a book about these very questions about the Book of Abraham. The problem that I'm dealing with is I'll never be able to be done because it will always be out of date soon thereafter.
The situation is, of our understanding, is very much different from Joseph Smith's day or from 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. When Nibley wrote most of his material in the Book of Abraham, some of the best evidence for it hadn't been published yet. Presumably that's why archaeologists go out and dig, is so you can find out something you didn't know before. And if you're going to find out something you didn't know before, then you're going to have to revise what you thought you knew.